Good evening, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Hello, hello, hello. Look, if you choose them to be, and if it's relevant to you, the next 45 minutes worth of information could genuinely be life transforming for you and your business. I've done this talk and similar talks like this around the UK, and I'm yet to see a more effective lead generation strategy for growing a sales pipeline, increasing revenue, and scaling a business than SEO. And I'd probably go one step further than that and actually say that SEO is one of the safest ways to hedge your business against this economy in 2023. And I know you guys will be thinking, well, why? Why is that? So for those who don't know, my name's Adam Collins. I run a highly specialized SEO agency called Ignite SEO. And when it comes to SEO, we pretty much do everything. So we do content, keyword research, topical mapping, link building, all of these fancy things. Anything to do with SEO, fundamentally, we've done. And I think from my experience from doing that, one thing is completely irrefutable, and that is round-the-clock exposure. Anytime a potential customer of yours searches for your product and service, doesn't only make you recession-proof, it allows you to expand into the marketplace and dominate, especially in financially uncertain times like now, when your competition will be cutting their marketing spend, contracting, and getting smaller and smaller. Now, fundamentally, SEO as a strategy is one of those things which is, it's the tortoise beats the hare approach. It's not a sexy get-rich-quick scheme, unfortunately. If that's what you were promised, I'm sorry. If you are actually sat in here and you've been promised a get-rich-quick scheme before an SEO and you're scratching your head as to why it didn't work, fundamentally, SEO is not sexy. It's not get-rich-quick. It's very, very slow. But me and my customers love the SEO philosophy. And over the next 45 minutes, I'm going to hopefully get you guys to love this philosophy too. So this is the Power of SEO Masterclass. So what we're going to cover today, firstly, who are we? Me and Ignite SEO. Why you should listen to me, why I'm best placed to be able to advise you on this. How we generated 300 leads per month for a specific customer. And then 5 SEO secrets to market domination. So rather than me just pitching stuff in theory to you, I wanted to actually use a case study. And the case study that I've used, which I'll go on to, isn't some crazy, massive national corporation. It's actually a small SME, not even based in a major city. And it's how we generate them, plus 300, actually the other day I think it was 350, closer to that, leads per month, which equates to tens of thousands of pounds to that business, and it all comes from SEO, they don't do other forms of marketing. So I thought it'd be good to see it in principle. So firstly, who are Ignite SEO? So just to reintroduce myself again, so my name's Adam Collins. I'm the founder of a highly specialized SEO agency called Ignite SEO. Fundamentally, we work with B2B business owners, and we help them to generate a constant flood and flow of predictable sales leads via ranking in organic search. And the way that we do that, which makes us very unique, is we follow what's called a 5-step SEO success framework, which is this. Now, if you've ever worked with an SEO agency before, what you'll find is that SEO agencies are very, very good at sort of chucking mud at a wall and seeing what sticks, right? Probably my own OCD, I just can't work that way. So I have a very, very sort of formulative approach to it. And over the sort of 11 to 12 years now, God, that makes me feel old, of working within SEO and web, I've sort of put together a framework. And whether you're a very, very small company or whether you're a large company, every single customer goes through this framework. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to get predictable results in a very unpredictable environment, which is SEO and which is Google. I won't bore you into what are all of these specific stages, but and a few of the bits about me. So I run one of the largest UK small business networks on Facebook. I've got like 40,000 UK small businesses on there, so join there. We have a highly specialized SEO group where I drop regular SEO content. And then also you can follow me on Instagram as well. If you want to, I'll share a lot of SEO related stuff there as well. So let's move on to the next bit. So 300 leads per month, show me the proof, right? So this is the company. So I've chose a real standard SME, which we've worked with. This is a skip hire company. It's nothing crazy. They're based probably 7 to 8 miles outside of Birmingham, so they're close enough to Birmingham, but it's not a fundamental focus for them. And this is sort of the results we've been able to achieve for them over the last 2 years. So you can see here what the blue line is. The blue line is links. This is like link building, which I'll go into later on. And then you can see how there is a delay here before the orange line, which is like your organic traffic, your visibility. It's how many hits you're getting. And you can see they generate about 1,500 hits per month. And you can see they have about 98 backlinks, which I'll go into all of that in a minute. So that equates to 174 calls from their Google My Business, as well as 137 calls and inquiries through their website. So if my maths is correct, I think that's 311. It may be wrong. I'm not a mathematician. I'm an SEO person. So this is, again, this is a third-party review called Clutch, which take third-party reviews, so you know I'm not making this stuff up. Ignite SEO delivers hundreds of leads per month, thousands of pounds worth of revenue. So you can do this too, and fundamentally, if you've got a SME business or a larger business, you really, really should. So 43% of SMEs right now identify the recession as their biggest concern for 2023, which is actually pretty staggering when you actually think about it. All the other things, all the other problems you have running a business, you know, nearly half are worried about recessions. 1/4 of SME owners expect their business to shrink in the next 12 months, which is very not good for the economy at all. So is this bad news for my business, right? Well, fundamentally, it comes down to how you frame anything, right? Yes, of course, it could be terrible for your business, but you could also see this as a fantastic opportunity to expand and dominate in the marketplace, because fundamentally, times like this, as many people will know, present massive opportunities for you. And the marketing strategies that you employ in these periods will determine whether you survive through these periods or whether you thrive through these periods. So there's massive, fantastic opportunity. So let's cover sort of the 5 SEO secrets which I wanted to go through with you here today. So I've tried to break these down to have the biggest effect for you, positive impact. So the first is local dominance. We're going to start with probably the easiest to implement stuff first. Technical SEO, topical authority, which is a very, very important concept. If you want to rank in Google, I had a 2-hour conversation with someone yesterday when they're in-house marketing person and trying to explain this concept to them. If you want to rank in Google for 2023 and then coming forward over this, you know, the next 3, 4, 5 years, this is a very, very important concept for you to understand. On-page mastery, and then SEO Launchpad and link building. So I'm going to go into each 5 individually. So, local dominance. Now, you've probably seen this type of thing before. This is the Google Map Pack. And all of these individual secrets, I'm going to link back to the case study, which I've showed you, by the way. So this is your Google My Business listing here. Now, fundamentally, if you guys didn't know about Google My Business, it's a geo directory pretty much which Google have, a Google entity. You can sign your business up, they send you a postcard, you verify your business, and then you can start to rank in what's called the map packs and the local map packs, which actually appear above the organic listings. So this is a very, very powerful, simple strategy that you can employ. And if you're able to rank in those top 3 listings, you have star ratings, etc., and your click-through rates will be very, very crazy. And most people completely disregard this. You know, they register it, they don't fill in the information, etc. So, like I said, some of the benefits here: higher placement in the map pack drives more clicks and traffic. Increased click-through rate by having 2 bites of the apple. So you think about it, if you can rank within the map packs and then fundamentally you're first in the organic listings, you're basically getting 2 bites of the apple when someone searches for your business. And then 3, publicly displayed customer reviews builds trust. So everyone knows obviously about social proof, the importance of that. If you're ranking in the map pack listings, you've got 25 5-star reviews, you've filled it all out, and then you're in the organic listings, you can imagine how high your click-through rate will be, rather than if you've got 1 review or you've got a load of dodgy reviews, etc. So, fundamentally, here's some steps to get this sort of stuff set up. So, ensure you have the right category for your business. So you can see the category here, waste management services in England. The way that you figure out what the right category is go on, search in Google for whatever keyword you want to rank for in the maps. If it triggers the maps, look who's position 1, and then look at what category they're using. There's many, many different categories, so it's important that you choose the right one in order to rank for that. 2, upload all requested images. So what they'll do is they'll ask you for logo, brand images, inside, outside, team photos. Most people are super lazy, they'll upload their logo and that's it. You have to remember, right, and especially how this correlates to your website, this is a Google entity. So if you want to rank in Google, then Google are going to reward you for actually playing full out with whatever this entity is asking, right? So fill in outside pictures, inside, team photos. If you don't have pictures of the outside, just go onto Google Maps Street View and just screenshot it and upload it. There's many, many different ways around it, right? But fill in as much of this information as you can. And then play full out with the rest of the things. So for example, you can add products onto your Google My Business. You can add questions and answers. So you can actually go on and say, how much is it for a domestic skip? And then you can actually answer it yourself if you want to. So figure out what the frequently asked questions are of your customers and actually build this in. And then post regularly. So you have the ability to post regularly on your Google My Business. So post localized stuff. And again, think about it logically. Like, who is Google going to favor? You with 25 5-star reviews who posts regularly, who's filled out all the imagery, and et cetera, or the guy who's just uploaded his logo, has one 1-star review, and can't be asked to post, right? It makes sense. So a lot of this stuff, pretty much everything in there, so this is again, I was explaining to this customer yesterday, this marketing manager, is SEO is all about reverse engineering what people have done and they've got success, reverse engineer that strategy. And this is really what we want to be doing. And again, what we can reverse engineer are the reviews. Don't buy fake reviews for Google My Business. They'll get took off. It's super annoying. Actually, a lot of real reviews get taken off, so your fake ones will get caught. But what you can do, again, look at who's ranking position 1 in your Google Map Pack, and you'll be able to see on the reviews, there's these bold words here, bold, 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 bold. These are basically, Google are telling you these words are semantically important to that listing. So you can see here, service, experience, prices, variety, area, price. So what you want to do is speak to your customers who are going to leave reviews and just say, hey guys, could you include the word service? Could you include the word price? Like the bold words on your competitors, get them to include that within your within your reviews. And then you can build your reviews pretty easily just by asking your employees, ask your partners, meaning business partners, not your missus or boyfriend or whatever, ask them to leave reviews as well. But don't lie, don't say I'll use the service. Just be like, look, I work for the One Club, you know, they do this, they do this, they do this, they're a great company, and leave the 5-star review and you'd be shocked at how much that have an impact. I do a lot of A/B testing with this sort of stuff. The golden ratio is at least 10. 10 reviews really, really have a big impact. 10 5-star reviews. And it comes down to this fact again, which I thought, to be fair, actually scares me a little bit because I realize how easily manipulated this stuff is. 84% of online consumers trust online reviews. So again, it comes down to that social proof element. So be ethical with it. Don't cut corners. Don't be shady. But they are very, very important for your brand and for your conversions. Okay, so you might have heard of things, for example, you might have heard of all that stuff, and you're like, right, Adam, is that it? I thought this was a masterclass, so I'm going to give you some nuggets of information now. So you have to fundamentally realize that Google My Business, we're speaking outside of the website now, it's fundamentally manipulated by geolocation. It's a Google map, right? So Google needs to understand physically where you're based. And the way it does that is by what's called localized citations. So the more citations, which are business references to your company name, your company phone number, and your company address, found online on places like Thompson Local or Yale.com, directories, localized directories, Google will actually build a footprint for you and understand where you're based. The more certain Google is that you're based in that physical location, the better it is for you. And the reason for that is I've done tests before where I've been able to register Google My Business accounts to all sorts of fake addresses. So this stuff does happen quite a bit, you'd be shocked. So localized citations, so these types of things, company name, phone number, and the address. This is called name, address, phone number, and what you want it to be is consistent on the website as it is across everything. So for example, if you go and then change your company phone number in 2 years' time, you need to go through and update all of these locations, because what Google's going to do is it's going to be, or your address, Google's going to be like, well, they said this company name's this, and then their address is this, the phone numbers is this, then it confuses it, and then it will just push you down the rankings because it doesn't have a certain footprint for you. So citations are extremely important. Now, you could go and find these citations yourself. If you really want a list of like 75, I can give them, you just ask. Realistically, this is a tedious, boring job. You don't really want to be doing it. So unless you have like a VA or sort of, I don't know, like an apprentice, you want to like make their life misery and get them to add this information there. There's a service provider called Bright Local. I think they charge about $3 per citation. So you could go build 75, job done, never have to worry about it again. Then, you know, you can get on with your day type thing. So there's another type of citation called co-citation, which most people don't know about. So these are unstructured citations against your name, address, phone number. So unlike your YAL, where it's a directory, these are directories. These are instead, so if you get featured online, say you do some PR, so like this is, we featured them on Yahoo Finance, the CNR Lewis, they're changing Skip Hire, blah, 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 blah. You can see that here they have at the bottom CNR Lewis, Skip Hire, the address, the phone number, and the website address. This is an unstructured citation, and it's a great way of being able to rank and increase this. Now, if you really wanted some dodgy stuff, what you can do is you can either do this through press releases, guest posts on websites, comments, or like I said, if you want sort of the black hat, there is a tool called Scrapebox, and what you can do with that is you can scrape thousands of websites and then you can post it. Now, I'm not saying post your website address, don't do that, that's dodgy. But you can post comments with these co-citations, and that's incredibly powerful, even if it is a little bit dodgy. Okay, so this is another way of hacking Google My Business, and I've not actually seen anyone speak about this really, so don't tell anyone. But this is an engagement GMB hack, which we've done a lot of tests on. So, as we've already said, Google My Business, the maps from Geo, right? But let's say everyone's based dead central London, how does it then determine who ranks top? The second way it's influenced is by engagement. Right? So if you're in the top 3, you're going to be getting localized traffic, clicking your website, clicking your reviews, clicking your directions, etc. So their engagement at the top 3 is very, very high. So it makes it very, very hard for you to break into the top 3. So if your listing is struggling to break into the top 3 of the map listings, what you can do is you can send localized Facebook ad traffic to it. And it makes a huge difference over the course of a few months. So I'll explain how you do that now. So there's a Chrome extension called GatherUp, and what this is the CID URL of your Google Map, of your Google My Business listing. And then what you want to do is create a Facebook ad, geo-target it to within 10 miles of where you want to rank. So let's just say here now, London or East London or whatever. And then what you want to do the little ad, but rather than sending it to your website or sending it to a funnel or whatever, ClickFunnels, send it to this URL here. And what will happen is when they click on that, it will take them to the map listing, the Google My Business map listing. So if you can do that for 30 to 60 days for the keywords you want to rank for, it's going to have a positive increase. Now, you have to use your common sense of this because it's sort of not a foolproof strategy, but it does work in principle. So you have to determine realistically how much engagement the people in the top 3 have got. So if you're an accountant based out of, I don't know, a small town, you know, maybe they get in, 3 to 5 clicks a day on that max. So you'd want to send at least maybe 5 to 10 clicks a day through your map list, through your ad. If you're trying to rank for Solicitors London, you're going to have to be realistic about it, right? You're going to have to send, 100, 150 plus to the Google My Business in order to do that. But what will happen is when the people are landing on your Google My Map in Google My Business, they're going to be interacting with your reviews, they're going to be interacting with the phone. But the fundamental principle is, which makes this work, is that Google will be seeing that IP address is within a 10-mile location of that. Whereas if it doesn't work, I've tried it. If you send them from the Philippines or it just does, yeah, I've tried that. It doesn't work. So because they're smart enough to tell this type of stuff. So, but this does work, and we did it for CNR Lewis, Skip Hire, and then yeah, they rank top of the maps now as well. So there's a lot on that. So the second thing I wanted to touch about, the second sort of fundamental principle, I'll just quickly grab a drink, is technical secrets. So now we've moved away from the maps and the Google My Business, we're going to move into the actual fundamental website. So why auditing your website is important. So you wouldn't build a house on shoddy foundations, right? And neither should you build your website on a shoddy set of code. And the fundamental reason for that is Google crawls your website. So the more you have regarding indexing or 404 errors or canonicalization or all of these problems which can pop up with the website, you can just imagine Google being like, why am I going to rank this website for? Like, forget that, I'll choose this website, which is easy to crawl. Think about it like a book, right? If you've got a book and all the pages are glued together, you're like, oh, I'm not going to read this. etc. And that's what Google's doing. The Google crawlers, they're actually searching and going through your website, so you need to make it as easy for them as possible. Plus as well, do you really want to go and spend thousands of pounds on SEO and spend time doing all the rest of this boring stuff when your site's dodgy? So just fix your site first. So how we do it, so this is the way we do it. We check over 70 critical SEO checks. This includes on-page schema analytics and speed. I'm not going to bore you with this stuff because it is pretty boring, I'm not going to lie. Every client we work with goes through what's called an SEO health audit. And then we make this available to customers. So even if you just wanted the health audit, we charge 150 quid. So if you did want that, we can do it for you. We don't fix the stuff for you, but we can identify what the problems are. And the reason we actually do this is we had a customer who we ended up, well, we've had a few actually who we've turned away because we've audited the site first. We found out they have fundamental problems, and then we've turned them away. I remember one of them, he signed up for a retainer after, and he was like, you're the only one. The other 5 agencies were willing to sign up for your $2,000 a month or whatever. Like, you were the only one who actually highlighted the site could not be SEO'd. So this is a very, very good way of being able to spot problems. But then anyway, if you did go on to work with me, we'd give it you back as credit anyway. So it's just one of those to stop time wasters. However, if you didn't want to do it, you didn't want me to find all those problems for you, what you can do, there's a tool called Siteball, but it has a free trial, about a 7-day free trial. And this will find technical issues with your website. And then what it will be able to do is it will give you explanations of what the technical problem is, why it's important to fix. It will prioritize it as high, low, etc. And then you can literally just export it and then send it to, what has that disappeared to? Oh, well, whatever. 2 seconds. Technical problems. God's sake. Alright, I'll free flow it. Yeah, so basically you can fill it with, it will give you technical problems, and then what you can do is you can give it to your developer, for example. You could go on Upwork and don't search for some dodgy guy on Upwork. Like, get someone decent, let's say if you use WordPress, has WordPress experience, and just give it them and get them to fix it all, and, you know, job done, right? So let me give you a few more things for you to do. So a lot of you guys might be on WordPress. So if you're on WordPress, there's an incredible plugin called Yoast SEO. And it's built like a Swiss Army knife. It's going to make your life fundamentally easier being able to deal with this type of stuff. So it's a free plugin. It helps you manage things like titles and meta tags and indexing. I think it even manages schema, all the rest of it. It will give you all of these feedback type here. And it will allow you to go in onto individual pages and posts and be able to update all of this type of stuff. So it's very, very cool. It's very free, which is, you know, brilliant. You don't want to be spending money. So here's some quick technical hints. And we're going to cover a few of these in a bit more detail. So most people, so call merge or improve low quality pages. So this is for anyone who has a website who, and I'll go into this into more detail, where maybe the website's been established for a year, a few years. You're not sure, you might have tons of blogs or you've got loads of products and categories. You're not really sure how many pages there are on your website. So you may not realize, but Google has what's called a crawl index, a crawl budget. So if your website, if you're telling Google you've got 10,000 pages on your website, and your website isn't crazy, authoritative, or powerful, what's going to happen is the pages which you actually want to rank are completely devalued by all of the nonsense pages. So what you want to do is sort of pruning, is go through your content, go through your website pages, go through your blogs, and identify ones which can be removed, redirected, improved, etc. It's very, very important. Another thing is if you are using a platform like WordPress, you'll get tons of junk pages, cruft pages, which need removing. Now, things like tags, if you ever heard of use WordPress, they have tags. This type of stuff is very low quality. You do not want Google to index this stuff. It's going to waste your crawl budget. So tags, categories, and authors, you can now index them. I'll show you how to do that in a sec. Ensure your website's faster than 2 seconds. It's 2023. People who live in an attention economy. Google understands this. This not only will affect your bounce rate if it's too slow, but Google actually push you down. It doesn't fundamentally like slow websites. You need an SSL certificate. You can check that by the HTTP, whether you have the lock in the top left-hand corner. That is a big signal to Google. You need to make sure that the stuff you're sending through your contact forms is encrypted, so we'll do that. And then this one here is something you can look for, and you can Google this. So schema markup. Schema markup are basically a selection of tags where you can mark up content on your pages, and it will tell Google specifically what you want to rank for. So for example, organization schema, your company name, your address, local business schema for your address and your phone number, etc. FAQ schema, so you can put basically the title and the answer in FAQ schema, and then when someone's searching for your website on Google, it will actually pop up the questions underneath your listing. So think about how much more from a conversion rate point of view would that be when everyone else is just boring listing and you've got there. Now, if you want to be really smart, you can use review and product schema. So then what you could have is you can have the questions under your Google listing as well as a 5-star rating. Again, your click-through rate's going to go through the roof compared to your competitors. And forgive me if I'm like looking like this now, because this has gone dodgy. So call, merge, and improve. So most people, like when I explain this to people, they don't really understand the importance. Now, if you've got a small website, it's not too much of an issue, right? But if you have got a bigger website, we took one website through our fast track, our 12-week fast track, and we call, removed, and redirected probably about 3,500 URLs which they had, and we took it from having close to 4,000 URLs indexed in Google to closer down to 500. So we got rid of all of the junk all of the way, and that, as well as other things, that moved them from page 3 to top of page 1, and the competition they're against were people like Tesla and RAC and all of these big companies. And I'll show you the results from that in a little bit. And that was fundamentally just removing, like Google's like, thanks guys, we can get rid of all of this junk and we could just focus on the pages which actually need it. So calling and improving pages is important. So if you want to be able to do this yourself, go to your Google Search Console. If you don't have that set up, that's worrying. Go get that set up. It takes 2 seconds. Visit the Performance tab. So this is going to give you tons of information based on the health of your website. So you click Performance, make sure it's the last 3 months, and then you go to Pages, and then you click the little Export button at the top. And then what that's going to do is it's going to export it into a Google Sheet for you. And I just did it for these, and I've actually booked this in with my team as well. Review the pages with less than 5 clicks over the last 3 months, right? Review the page quality of each of them. If it's a low quality page, like tags, can we no index it? Does the content need improving? Can it be improved? Is this a duplicate page? Have you covered this somewhere else? Are you getting traffic to another duplicate page similar to it? If so, you could merge it or delete this one, redirect it, etc. So all of these could potentially be on the chopping block for removal on the website. If you are using Yoast SEO or WordPress, what you can do with this, so you remember I said before about tags and categories, we want to get rid of these cruft low quality pages which it chucks out. You can go into the back end of WordPress, Yoast SEO, search appearance and taxonomies. I'll send you this over, and you can see you can literally turn tags off from being indexed in Google, same with categories. Fundamentally, it's like if it provides no value and we don't think that it's going to generate a customer or someone's going to click on it, we want to no index it, we want to get rid of it, we want to save crawl budget. So save crawl budget, don't waste your crawl budget with low quality pages, simply no index them, but before you no index them, ensure the page has no traffic. Don't be no indexing pages. Like for example, say you have a blog and the categories generate traffic, don't then no index the categories. Only do it if it's genuinely a low quality page, not providing you any traffic. Okay, awesome. So the next thing we wanted to speak about, topical authority. So this is sort of the third secret, the one which I said it will really be the way SEO moves over the next 5 to 10 years for sure. And the beautiful thing about this is it's very early on, so you guys can be early adopters of this philosophy, and if you implement it, you know, you guys will do very, very well against your competition. And most SEO agencies don't even know this stuff, so it does put you in a very, very powerful position. So fundamentally, topical authority is an SEO concept where a website aims to become the go-to authority on one or more topics. So if you'd done SEO with a company like 5-10 years ago, they speak very much about keywords. Oh, what keywords you want to rank for? Oh, you get 5 keywords, you get 10 keywords. That's sort of changed now. Instead, it's like a topic. What topics you want to rank for? And what you need to do is once you've established these high-level topics, you need to present yourself as an authority in that topic, pretty much. So here's an it comes back and says you've got a brain tumor, one of those websites. But they rank position 1 for apples, right? And apples is searched 1.2 million times per month in the UK alone, right? So it's a pretty average article. It's nothing special. But it's like, how did they do that? How did they outrank Wikipedia? How do they outrank, I don't know, BBC Food or whatever else, right? Whatever else is trying to rank for apples. And you can see what they've done up here is they have 370 articles on apples. 6 health benefits of apple cider vinegar, 10 promising benefits of apple pectin, is that? Or pectin, or whatever. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, fact or fiction. You can see, fundamentally, they have 370 of these articles, but they're not churning out articles about apples with no intent. What they've done is they've done the research on apples, they've figured out all of the topics they need to cover, and then they've produced content, and then they've internally linked that back to here, and then what that's allowed them to do is become a topical authority. So you imagine, who would you rank if you're Google? Would you rank Healthline, who have all of this resource on apples, or would you rank the guy who chucked out a 500-word blog, right? So this is an extreme example. You don't need to create 360 pages. However, it's a good understanding. So a lot of people come to me and they're very selfish and they're like, well, we want to rank for this commercial keyword. We'll generate lots of business. But it's like, but you're not interested in blogging about the topic, about being a thought leader, about being an authority. So it's like, but you want all the business. So even though there's not a direct, so one of our customers does pianos. They actually rank position 1 for pianos, which is insane actually. Pat on the back. But the way, one of the things which we did for them was we were like, well, let's rank for how many keys are on a piano. He's like, there's no commercial intent. I don't want to do that. Who's going to buy? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we did it. We like convinced them to do it. They rank position 1 for how many keys on a piano. That generates more traffic than their whole website put together, right? Genuinely tens of thousands of hits per month, and their sales are going through the roof because not only are a small percentage of those going to filter onto the pages, but positions them as a thought leader. It gets people in their mind. It gets people to then, when they come 2 weeks later and they want to buy a piano, they remember the website. There's many, many reasons why. But if you just went over, wow, they're not going to convert from it straight away, who knows? You know, all of these types of things are important. So you need to think about SEO on a topic level and how you can fulfill those topics in their entirety. So here's where we did it for, like, obviously I'm speaking about this in a very high level way, but like, well, how do we do it for a skip hire company? And so well, it's actually simpler than you think, right? Like domestic skip hire Solihull, which is where they're based. Well, what can we do around domestic skip hire? How to dispose of a microwave? Can you put garden waste in a skip? Tips for house clearance? How much are skip hire prices? And all of these internally link back to each other. And now you can see it's created like a mini silo. You can see here, for example, the grab hire Solihull. How much does it cost for the grab lorry? You can see these internal links here, how much it costs for a grab lorry. There's internal links back to the grab hire pages. It's just building some topical authority. Now, another thing, so if you've ever, what I get a lot is people go, well, I want to rank in all these cities. Let's create a page for every city in the UK. And that worked so well like 7-8 years ago. So if that's your plan, you missed it, it's too late. But the way that you would do this now is you would instead go, right, no, rather than us just doing a scattergun approach, instead, right, we'll focus on Nottingham. So not only with, let's say Nottingham, for example. I don't know why I picked Nottingham. But for Nottingham, what you would do then is you would go, well, we have one page on our 400-page website about Nottingham. We are not a topical authority on Nottingham. So you could go and do this and do each of your services in Nottingham, make sure it's unique content you can't copy from the rest of your site. But then you could go, let's say for an escape room we did, they wanted to rank in Liverpool, and we were like, okay, well, after an escape room you need a hotel. What, you might need bars, so bars in Liverpool, that's one, top 5 other experiences in Liverpool, top 5 hotels in Liverpool, top 5 restaurants in Liverpool, etc. We built all of this content. I've found about 5 to 10 is a good variation when it's on location, especially for big cities. Anyway, but then you can see then you've actually got a silo of content around Liverpool. So you're actually a topical authority on Liverpool as well as the topic what you're actually trying to rank for, in that case, escape rooms, right? So you have to do this. Now, if you're wanting to rank in a very small town, you don't need to do that, right? One page is fine. But that you can see now how this topical authority approach goes on topics, but then also on location as well. So here's some cues. So obviously we've spoke about topics, but you still need to understand and have clear visibility on what are the keywords you want to rank for, obviously. So I just put together some bullet points, step by step, on how to do sort of keyword research. And then again, I'll give you the slides so you don't need to worry too much. So step by step. So what you want to do, make a list of your seed keywords in Google Sheets. So by seed keywords, I mean the topics, right? So what are the high level topics? So I always use the example, in this case, I use the example of dog beds. So dog beds might be a seed topic. Obviously, it's very, very broad, but like, let's say you're a pet company and we're like, okay, well, the big ones we want to rank for are luxury dog beds, large dog beds, etc. So figure out what those big high-level keywords are. Don't go too deep into that. You just want the top-level ones. Sign up for SEMrush. SEMrush has a free trial. SEMrush, if you didn't realize, is like a tool where you can see traffic volumes, you see keyword difficulty, you can look at your competitors' keywords, their traffic, all the rest of it. Pretty cool stuff, well, for a nerd anyway. So sign up for a SEMrush free trial. By the time you finish your free trial, hopefully we'll have enough of what we need in order for you guys to do what you need to do. But if not, I think it's like £100 a month. It depends whether you want to do that. Get familiar. So spend like half a day or a day, like just get familiar with the interface. Search for your keywords. You can see here like the volumes, the difficulties. You can see when you click onto it, you can get like alternative keywords again with the volumes. Now in SEMrush, what you have once you've got used to it is what's called a keyword manager. So create a list, and then what you want to start doing is search each of these seed phrases, what you've created, and then go onto this keyword magic tool here, and then you can literally start to work downwards from top volume. You can use the filters to go from keyword difficulty down to find really easy keywords with traffic volume to try and rank for first if you really wanted to, and just literally start adding them. So the ones in green we've added to the list. The ones which are grey we haven't, so obviously we don't want to add Aldi dog bed, for example, or Pets at Home dog beds to our list if we're doing dog beds. But large dog beds, donut dog beds, raised dog beds, Carmen dog beds, etc. But what's really good about this approach is the keyword difficulty. So you might see here the keyword difficulty is 28 for donut dog beds, so we might start with donut dog beds before we start with anything else, because actually that's not too competitive. 10s, 20s, 30s, it starts to get more competitive. But what you can do is you could do the filters and you could say like nothing above keyword difficulty 10, but minimum search traffic 100 hits per month. And you can build a strategy around that and you would rank very, very well and you would be able to get some massive gains very quickly. Another way you can do it, so once you've searched your seed keywords, if you actually go onto it, you can actually search for your competition. And what it will show you is who ranks for those keywords. And then you can click on theirs, and then you can see their keyword list, add any different ones to your list, and then you can export it into a CSV. The reason I'm telling you to do this, so people will be like, I've done it, I've done 50. I genuinely, our team will usually find 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 keywords. And think of it like you said at the top of the funnel, so people who aren't aware of your product yet, but maybe have a problem, then the middle of the funnel, then bottom of the funnel, people are looking to make commercial decisions and buy there and then. And for example, it's very, very easy for you to find thousands of keywords. And you want to do that because, again, I'm a big believer of doing things right once, and it will save you a ton of time. Don't be doing this again in 6 months' time, etc. Just play full out at what you need to do and get a master list of keywords. So again, this comes back to what we spoke about before, just the visual. This is the old way of doing SEO with the sort of a flat structure approach. Really what we want to be doing is this silo approach here. So taking the dog beds analogy, for example, so large dog beds. So then underneath large dog beds, you could have a sizing guide for dog beds or how, I don't know, you get my point, right? Try and figure out I don't know a lot about dog beds. I should have used a better analogy, but you get my point. You want to be building that out, everything around those mini silos, informational content, etc., etc. Awesome. So we're on the fourth strategy here. What time is it? Doing all right. On-page mastery. So if you think about it, it's like we've got the local stuff done with the maps. We've got the sites, no problems. We now have a fundamental strategy that we can work towards. So then it's like, well, now we need to produce content. So a fundamental thing what you guys need to realize is you're not going to be able to rank for a keyword unless you have content which is matched up to that, right? So if someone searches the Skip Hire one, Skip Hire London, do you have a page for Skip Hire London? If you don't, then you've got no chance. So those are the types of things. You need pages, you need content. How do you then produce SEO-friendly content around your strategy? So do your strategy first before you start churning out content. A lot of people will start blogging. They're producing blogs for no reason. You want to be everything you want to do. Time is your biggest asset, and it's the most costly thing for you guys. Don't be spending your time doing blogs unless it's backed by data. You want to make sure that there's a return what you'll make from doing your things like blogs. So let's go through it. So, like I said before, the key to producing content which ranks in Google is to reverse engineer your competitors who rank for those keywords. So what we can do, review top-ranking competitors' content and make note of common headings. So if we take the Skip Hire one, let's say we do Skip Hire London, for example. Let's go write Skip Hire London into Google. Let's click on the top 5 listings. Ignore the ones like the directories or whatever. Focus on the actual businesses, like-for-like businesses, and then figure out what their heading structures are and make notes of the heading structures. The headings are how Google understands the hierarchy of the page. So, for example, if there's a heading which is like a pricing guide for skips in London, and that appears on 3 or 4 of the top 10 people on page 1, you would want to include that heading in your article. So you want to find all of the common headings, make a list of them, find ones which overlap, there will be ones, and make sure when you're producing your content, you build these headings in. Second, then, Google your keyword, and you'll find that these people also ask questions pop up. So Google, again, are telling you that these questions here are correlated to whatever the search is. So again, they make for great questions. They make for great headings. Maybe you can have an FAQ section on your page about how much is a 12-yard skip, how can you fill a blah, 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 you cannot, yeah, etc. So build those people also ask questions into your article. Ensure your content is to a higher standard than those rankings. So again, using the headings as a guide. You want to make sure that you're covering the content and the topic in its entirety. And then 4, what you want to be doing when you're producing content, you need to be internal linking. And this again comes back to the fact of why you would have the strategy in the first place. Fundamentally, where people go wrong, they'll write an article, they'll chuck it online, and then they forget about it. You need to be smarter than that, so that's why you build the strategy first, and then when you're launching content, you make sure that the internal linking is going back to your topic pages, it's going into the clusters, etc. And what this will allow you to do, not only is Google going to like it because it can crawl everything in what's called the cluster, but you can then, for example, start to send your visitors on a user journey, and this is basically called pillar and supporting page content. So you have a pillar page, and then you have supporting pages off it, and they all internally link to each other. It's a very, very powerful concept. So, now this is a really, really great hint, and it's probably, if you want to take down this tool, it's probably one of the best things. If you're planning to really do SEO, and you don't want to hire a company for it, the thing is, you have to decide whether you want to do SEO for free, which is just going to take you a long, long time, or whether you want to actually leverage third-party tools. There's an incredible tool called Surfer SEO. It's definitely changing the game when it comes to SEO. And what Surfer basically does is Surfer will give you a content editor here. It will give you content scores here. And what it will do is it will pick, when you put the keyword in you want to rank for, it will basically look at who ranks on page 1 for that, and it works out all of the keyword variations and how much density you need to put in. So for example, the skip hire analogy, use the word skip. On average, people on page 1 use the word Skip Hire London 7 times. Now, you might have done it 35 times, so you're over-optimizing, so you'd bring that down. This will tell you things like your article is 2,000 words too long or 500 words too short. This will also tell you things which will go on a little bit, what are NLP keywords. So Google, as it got a lot smarter now, has what's called natural language processing API, and it's how it understands what words correlate to each other and how that's important. So this will actually tell you what the NLP keywords are. So when your writer or one of your team is producing this content, you can see we can build the heading structures in here from the research what we're doing. We'll make sure that we'll cover that topic in its entirety better than the competition. The people also ask questions. And then when you're actually filling this content in, they've actually got a score which they can work with. It tells you what keywords, and then these just go green when you've used them. This is an incredibly powerful way of doing content writing. Most people produce content, they just do it on a whim. This is data-backed way of doing it, and it's incredible. It's game-changing, to be fair. Probably shouldn't tell you what it is, but never mind. One of the other amazing things about Surfer SEO, I'm a big fan of the reverse engineering. I think getting your hands dirty is very good, but this will actually do a lot of it for you as well. So you can see here, it actually has an outline builder where it will do similar to what I just said then. It will crawl the heading structures of people on page 1, and it will actually build the heading structure for you. So then you can, again, just content and fill in the gaps. And again, this is what I spoke about previously, natural language processing, NLP. You can see the content scores here. So for example, you can see that this article which we've wrote, it's actually got 400 too many words. The headings are fine, the paragraphs are fine. We could maybe include some more images. That's the NLP keywords are very, very important. It's how Google has progressed, and that is fundamental to AI content, how Google understand all those types of things. What I would say is actually just on that and AI content, obviously you guys have probably heard of ChatGPT and Jasper or Jarvis or whatever. It's very, very easy for Google to be able to identify AI content. So if you're going to do the heading structures properly and use AI content, if it's a good article, yeah, you may rank for it. But you have to remember that ChatGPT is a potential competitor to Google. So it's going to be very, very... The thing is about SEO, you want to be future-proof in what you're doing. Google have just released an AI sort of competitor called Bard. So you think about it, you've built your website out thinking you're clever using AI content. Yeah, we're ranking, and then Google's like, forget ChatGPT. It's so easy, like you can find free tools which can pick out AI content. Now, leverage AI content, rewrite it, use something like Quillbot, which will go through AI content and then change phrases and then go and tweak it. Get a writer to do it. Allow it to leverage it for 70% and then have someone go in and edit it and make it unique. But it's going to be very easy for Google to be able to identify this stuff. So personally myself, I would hire a writer and just get it done properly. But it's up to you. Don't moan at me when you get hit by a penalty. Score quick wins and find missed opportunities with the audit. So it has an incredible auditing software. So if you have a website which already has content, already has pages live, use the audit software and you'll be able to put the keyword in, put the page in, and it will tell you a content score, it will tell you what keywords you've missed, it will tell you whether your content's too long, too short, etc. So not only is it great for new content, but it's also fantastic for existing content, optimizing it. And you'd be surprised because you'll probably have pages if you've got a website which is old, which are sat on the top of page 2, bottom of page 1, and you could go in, implement some of the heading structures, implement some of the content changes, and you'll be able to boost that into the top 5, for example. The difference of ranking bottom of page 1 is like 2% click-through rate, top of page 1 is like 25, right? So it's a massive, massive difference. Awesome. So we're on to the last secret, and then I'm out of here. No, I'm joking. So the SEO Launchpad, I didn't realize you couldn't see that bit there. Sorry about that. The SEO Launchpad basically is a unique approach which we have in order to link build. And this is really putting the cherry on the icing, on the cake, which I'll go through here. It's proprietary to us. We do it in a very strategical formula in order for it to work. But the principles of it are very important for you to know. And we've done it on the One Club, for example. We've done it for... a lot of different people in it. They have incredible results very quickly. The thing is about SEO is very long-term. So if you can do things in a strategical way to get faster results, then it's better because the sooner it provides an ROI, everyone's happy, etc. So what is link building? God, that is really annoying. So fundamentally, in order to understand what the SEO Launchpad is, you have to understand what link building is. So in order to rank in competitive niches, what you need is links from other websites to point to yours. So you can see here, your blog articles here, let's say the Skip Hire London one, will find and publish articles on external websites about different things to do with Skip Hire or Skip Hire in London. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the company, but we include these links within the articles back and it will power this up. That's how Google fundamentally works, is via getting links from external places, sees them as votes of recommendation, and then that will pass authority to your website. The problem is, so it's like, okay, well, we'll just get thousands of these links, job done. That was like 11 to 12 years ago. That stuff worked very well. The problem is link building is, if you manipulate link building and Google catches you, then you're going to get yourself slapped with a penalty, so which isn't very good. It's called link spam. So the problem is you can't go from 0 to 100 with link building without, if it's a new site, getting caught in a sandbox, which basically means you won't rank for a few years, or if you're an existing site, getting a penalty. So you have to be a little bit incognito with what you do. And this is why when people say, I got an email the other day, like, how fast can you rank me? It's like, it just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I wish it did. So we put together a strategy and we tested it and it works, and we're able to sort of reverse engineer this type of thing and actually get really, really quick results, which is ace. So what are common off-site factors then? So where do we get links from? So there's many ways to generate links. If you think about it, you could have social profiles. Let's say you create a Reddit page, it'll let you put a link in. Trello will let you put a link in. Instagram, whatever. Directories. localized directories like Yahoo and not Yahoo, Thomson Local and YAL, etc. Places like Pinterest, you can upload pictures, include links. Where else? Guest posts. So, for example, you could find articles or websites about Skip Hire and then publish articles on there with links. There's tons of different ways to generate links. PR, if you've done a press release, you'll generate links from that. See, there's all these different ways of generating links. Oh, there we go. Directories, social profiles, citations, forum comments, press releases, and guest posts. The fundamental thing about link building safely is you have a diverse range of links. Because what a lot of SEO companies do, a lot of cheap SEO companies will do directories and social profiles usually, or forum comments, because they're able to use their tools, like I showed you before, to do it in the thousands, right? And that used to work. The problem with that is Google's smart, it knows this stuff exists. So then what normally sort of your mid-range SEO companies do is they'll just do guest posting, meaning they'll find websites, publish lots of articles on them, and then they'll include the links. But again, if your link profile is just guest posts, it's so easy for Google to see that you're paying for these guest posts. So you're actually going against the Google guidelines, and in theory, you could end yourself up with a penalty. So it's like, well, how do we build a diverse one? And fundamentally, it's about doing a mix of these. So this is a guest post. So writing articles for existing websites in exchange for the content and for usually money. They usually want to be paid. And they'll include this link here. So you can see this is a site about waste disposal, and we've pitched an article about 8 waste disposal problems. And you can see this little link here goes through to my client's website, and that will pass authority from that website to our website. And it passes authority. And this is how you build authority on your website. This is how you rank in competitive niches. Now, what you want to be doing now is not all links are the same. So like I said, if you get a link from a dodgy website, it's not the same quality as getting it from an authoritative website. So you can use a tool like Ahrefs. The fundamental questions you want to ask yourself is the article I'm putting on this website a real website, or is it there to sell SEO guest posts? If it's there to sell SEO guest posts, steer clear of it. So it needs to be a real website. It can't be an advertiser. You can't be advertising saying, buy guest posts here, don't waste your money. It has to have real traffic, and you can test that with a tool like Ahrefs here to see the levels of traffic it's getting per month. It has to be powerful. You can see whether it's a powerful link by the metrics here. So this is a DR40 link. So we know it's powerful. We know it has real traffic. It's not selling guest posts anywhere. And ideally, you want it to be niche relevant. So if we can get a site about waste disposal to link through to the Skip Hire site, you can see there's a relevancy there. That's very, very important. It's substantially better than getting a much powerfuler link about, I don't know, Japanese cartoons, and then that link into a Skip Hire site, and they're like, what's going on here? So ideally, niche relevancy is very, very important. So niche relevancy, power, and then real traffic. The traffic is a massive indicator that Google trusts your website, and the marketing manager I was having the argument with yesterday was failing to understand that, because he was saying, why are some of our links not DR40? And he was like, look at these DR40 links I've built. And here's the ones he was paying for were DR40, but the traffic on the website was 0. It's like, it's not a real website. It's like this has been manipulated. So you want to be making sure it's real traffic, real DR, a real website, not there for SEO purposes. And if you build links like that, it's the most powerful thing that you can ever do when it comes to your online marketing. So how do we build links safely and quickly, and how do we get results? Now, we usually put a bit of a noose around our neck with the SEO we offer, and it allows us to stand out in the marketplace where we work with people on a 12-week basis initially, and we're like, look, we can get rankings improving. Now, remember, Google have said that they don't take full power of links into account for 9 to 12 months, right? So it's a big, big ask, especially when you say to an SEO agency, like, when am I going to get my results? Like, you are making their lives a little bit hard, I'm not going to lie. But think about it, though. Things go viral all the time, and they get thousands of links in a day or in a few days, and they rank amazing. They don't get hit with a penalty. They don't get hit by a sandbox. So, again, as the common thing is through this, we need to reverse engineer something going viral. And this is what we did with the SEO Launchpad. This is what makes us very, very unique in what we do. So if we actually reverse engineer that and think, well, what are the 3 fundamental things to make something go viral. Now, I don't care about, I'm an SEO, I'm about manipulating Google and algorithm. I don't care whether you've gone viral or not. Like, I'm not saying do a dance and upload it to TikTok or anything like that. We want to manipulate it so Google thinks you're going viral. So, if you think about it, usually it will start with international press, okay? So, running a press release first, something goes viral, it'll get international press about the company. So here's, for example, CNR Lewis Skip High Solihull, they're on Yahoo. You see the link here. This syndicates out, this will be syndicated to places like Bloomberg and Yahoo and Business Insider and all these amazing places. So the PR is about gaining coverage on extremely high authoritative websites, which will give you a big level of trust. So yeah, like I said, some of these tremendous strength and trust. So then it's like, well, what happens next? So not only are you going to get authority from the links, and you've just built a load of links to your website in a very safe way, but then it's like you've got a lot of trust from Google. So then what happens then after something gets a load of press? Your site will get a load of social signals. So what you would want to be doing is building social signals, social profiles to this. Normally I don't include the site, but because it's a masterclass, I'm happy to. So a site to be able to manipulate this is called Signal Boy. And what they'll do, any page included within the PR, you want to basically send Facebook, Pinterest, and Reddit signals to. So when Google goes, okay, they've got all this PR, something's happening around CNR Lewis, what's going? Oh, okay, all of the pages they've been featuring are getting massive exposure. They're getting shared on Facebook, shared on this, shared on that. Fundamentally, social signals do not pass authority. But I genuinely believe they're a verification. It's a way of Google verifying, like, okay, they've got all of these links. Okay, now they're getting social signals. And what that does, it allows us to then move on to the more SEO, typical SEO link building strategies. And we're able to do that in a safe way. And that's where your guest posting and your blogging comes in. So that's like the third tier. And this is usually, if you think about it, if something goes viral, this is where like mum and pop sort of blogs or like the people who are doing it for passion projects, etc., will start writing articles about whatever the press release is. So, for example, smaller blogs will begin to cover the topic. So here you go here. This is called a guest post, and it's, like I said, it's the easiest manipulated thing when it comes to link building. Most SEO agencies just do this, but it's very, very obvious if you just do this. Everything else we've been doing, so the press release, then the social signals, I mentioned to you before about the localized citations, getting 75 of those, social profiles, I'll give you a list of 100 social profiles. What we're doing is we're building like 1,000 links of all different diversity, right? And then when we come and hit them with the more spammy traditional SEO approach, we might build 5, 10, 15, 20 of these, but it flies under the radar because it's part of a much larger thing. If all we did was build these, it's very easy for Google to say no PR, no social signals, no social profiles, no citations. They've hired a dodgy SEO company, let's ban them. So this is all about flying under the radar, and this works tremendously powerful. So what we do is after the PR hits, we'll build like 5 guest posts the first week, then 4, then 3, then we'll hit more social signals, then 5, then 4, then 3. And the results we've been able to get from this genuinely are pretty crazy. Completely unique. I've tested it in many different industries. It is an authority hack. And that's really the way our business is set up. So we start with a £150 audit. You get to use that on a 12-week basis if we don't deliver enough to you within 12 weeks. And you don't see at least ranking increases or traffic increases, etc., then you don't need to carry on with us. And then we move on to retainer. We find that's a substantially safer way, whereas a lot of SEO companies will just try and pull you onto a 12-month retainer. And again, here are the results from doing this approach. And I'll show some more. These are fundamentally the results of doing all of the 5 secrets which I've told you. So we've already seen this one, the skip hire one. I checked that actually, I just couldn't be bothered to crop that back in. The traffic went up even further. This was the One Club. The One Club's got even more than that now. They just did the 12 weeks with me. This is the company which I said we cleared all of their indexing problems. This is a 12-week comparison if you look from the end of 2021 to 2022. So this is a 12-week comparison before to after. You can see their organic hits. So this isn't all traffic. This is organic only from SEO. Went from 2,486 hits to 8,206 hits. People clicking on Google. New users up 247%. And 79 leads a month to 467. This is what I genuinely mean. It's one of the most powerful ways, building the sales pipeline. especially if you've got salespeople and they're cold calling, wasting time doing that. This is warm leads into your calendar, ready to call, pre-qualified, etc. It's an incredible way. This is the Escape Game Company, so you can see 66,200 hits, 38,000 in the UK. But look at like the interesting thing here. If they were to do that, £29,000 per month they would have to spend on Google AdWords. Insane, right? This is a van hire company. It's the exact same strategy we used. This is actually close to 6,000 now. I just need to update these slides. They rank page 1 for van leasing. This same type of thing. This is the traffic value is probably double that now as well. But you can see this is like 2 years. And this is what I mean about the whole get rich quick. Most people fail with SEO because they either choose the wrong people, they fall into a get rich quick scheme, or they don't sustain it long enough in order to be able to see. But you can see this stuff really does just carry on if you do it right. And then this is how it can work over the course of a long term. So we started with them here. And you can see this is years and years and years, and it just continues to grow. You get domination in the marketplace, whether you're local or national. It's a very, very powerful thing. Anyway, I won't bore you with these. Although this is pretty good, actually. This is a van hire company. So they generate 75 to 100 calls a day from their SEO, which is the equivalent of £450,000 per month they make from the SEO. And he's just sold that for many, many millions. So it genuinely does work, but this stuff does take a lot of time. My honest opinion is you can do it yourself. You can do it yourself. I'll send you the slides. You can watch the videos. I've got other stuff. If you've got a few £100s a month to spend, do it yourself. You're better off spending on a couple of tools, building out your strategy, producing content, forgetting maybe the links initially and just trying to play full out at it. But there's a lot which goes into it. My team's growing. We've got 7 of us at the minute, and all we do is SEO, so we don't do web design. You need a content writer and a link builder, and then someone to answer all the emails, and a strategist, etc. So it's one of those things that it's very good. If you have a budget there, it's a very, very good thing to invest in and just bolt that on. It's not a crazy fee. But we're living in an attention economy now, and Google's only going to become more and more powerful as the years go on. So it's how you want to position yourself and your business within the marketplace, because fundamentally the next 2, 3, 4 years are going to go by with or without you. So would you rather be at the top of Google at the end of that time, or would you rather be looking at this in 3, 4 years' time?